The intel is in again. Welcome back to Street Scores. It's your boy Rico giving y'all an off-season update edition of Redskins Reports, contracts, signees, roster moves, rumors, and more. Today's topic, who the Redskins opponents will be next season, home and away. Let's get it. Y'all already know who we play twice a year. Home one game each and away one game each. The New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. That's automatic. The only question is, which weeks will we play them on? Might start the year off and end the year with one of the division games, with the others sprinkled in the middle. That's typically how they do it for us. The Redskins split even with the Cowboys this year. We won a close game and then got mutilated in the second game. By then though, the Redskins were down to Colt McCoy and the reserve offensive line. The Cowboys finished 2018 with a 10-6 record. They won the division and finished with the 7th ranked defense statistically, even though they definitely had a top 5 defense in the league, just not statistically. Their offense finished 7th. Their trade for Amari Cooper gave them a huge spark on offense that they desperately needed. Probably the main reason they made it to the playoffs. They will definitely be a tough team to play against next year, even with the Redskins fully healthy. The Redskins also split with the Giants. The Redskins dominated the Giants in the first game, minus some garbage time points. And then the Giants dominated the Washington Mark Sanchez's, even worse in the rematch. The Giants finished 5-11 for the season, and they were very competitive in a lot of their losses. They are not as bad as their record said. Y'all gotta remember that the Giants were the victims of the 63-yard game-winning field goal by the Panthers. If they re-sign Landon Collins and get some offensive line and cornerback help in the draft or free agency, they will be pretty deadly if Eli Manning allows them to be. I just don't want the Redskins to sleep on them in 2019 like many teams may do. Saquon Barkley is gonna take this team places. He is a man on a mission and he can do a lot on his own. And he's only going to get better by next year. And then there's the Eagles, who beat us both games this season. Both games were tragic for the Redskins, none of them close. We got skunked and shut out in the last game of the season. Dark times, but we're looking ahead. That's the purpose of this whole video and this offseason, looking ahead. The Eagles finished with a 9-7 record and made the playoffs thanks to Kirk Cousins folding as usual. And luckily for the Redskins, Kirk does it for another team now. But back to the Eagles. They are primed to be a dangerous team in the playoffs, especially with how their offense flows with Nick Foles running it for some reason, even though he is a little bit hurt, but he should be ready for the playoffs. But as far as next season goes, the Eagles should also be deadly then too. 2019 is looking like a competitive season for the NFC East. And with the Redskins having the most questions and concerns as of right now out of all 4 teams. No longer will the NFC East be called the NFC least. This is a real division right now. But as far as non-NFC East home games go, we play the New England Patriots, New York Jets, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, and San Francisco 49ers. The New England Patriots finished with an 11-5 record, winning the AFC East again, the usual. The Patriots finished ranked 5th in offense and 21st in defense, but who knows how they will look in 2019. How good will Tom Brady still be? Will Gronk even play at all? He was contemplating retiring before the 2018 season. Will Josh Gordon ever come back? How much will my boy Sony Michel progress in the offseason? Will Trey Flowers and Trent Brown re-sign? A lot of questions. But with Bill Belichick being the coach going into 2019, we can expect the Patriots to still be a competitive team, even if they get the worst case scenarios out of those questions. The fate of the New England Patriots will be an interesting topic to monitor throughout this offseason in the 2019 season up until the point that we play them. They may lose a lot of players, personnel, talent, but with Bill Belichick, that doesn't matter as much as it does to other teams, including ours. The New York Jets finished the season with a 4-12 record. They were last in the AFC East. The Jets finished ranked 25th in defense and 29th in offense. Not a good season. Rookie quarterback out of USC, Sam Darnold, showed signs of promise, but still has some time to go before he is ready to be the quarterback people projected him to be. He has a lot of good traits though. It would be great if he actually had a talented receiving core to throw to, and a solid run game would also help him a lot. Their defense isn't as bad as the statistics show. Young safety Jamal Adams from LSU said that the Jets just don't have enough dogs on the team. he strongly feels that they need to add more talent. He wanted to make it clear that it was talent and not coaching that was holding them back. And I respect that. One draft and offseason will not be enough to change this franchise around though. We'll see how they shape up before we play them in 2019. They are definitely a team to keep track of. The Chicago Bears made the playoffs and won the NFC North with a 12-4 record, a huge turnaround from their 5-11 2017 record. They got Khalil Mack, a few receivers, a Georgia goon and Roquan Smith, and they took off on the whole league. Left us all behind. They were the first team to make the Rams look so sad, and the Rams haven't recovered since. The Bears ranked 3rd in defense and 21st in offense. They can go as far as Mitch Trubisky wants to take them. They have all of the pieces for a Super Bowl winning team. Great offensive line, 2 good running backs to complement each other well, a receiving group with true difference makers. They have the receiver that can take the lid off the defense. They have the true X receiver, the red zone threats, slot receivers with great route running, all of it. And they have my boy Javon Wims from Georgia, who comes out and makes a spectacular play every now and then. That's what's expected of him being a Georgia product. And then the defense is elite, so it all rests on Mitchell Trubisky's shoulders. I'm expecting them to be a formidable team in 2019 also, if not better than they were in 2018. They will be a good offensive and defensive test to see how we stack up against the rest of the league. After we play the 2019 Bears, we will know if the Redskins are to be taken seriously and are here to play, or if they're just pretenders again. The Detroit Lions finished last in the NFC North with a 6-10 record. They finished 10th in defense and 24th in offense. Matthew Stafford, who admittingly is a Georgia dog, is not playing as well as I expected him to at all. And we have to watch what moves they make in the draft and offseason to see if they can turn the team around and become competitive for 2019, specifically against us, the Redskins. And our final home game listed is against the 49ers. That doesn't mean the 49ers will be the last home game we will play in 2019. They're just last on the list of teams that we play. But the 49ers, with all of their critical injuries, finished 3rd in the NFC West with a 4-12 record. I don't know why they tanked, but they didn't tank well enough to get the first overall pick. If you're gonna tank right. No Nick Bosa for them. Also, despite all of their injuries, their defense ranked 13th and their offense ranked 16th in the league. So basically, even though they went 4-12 in 2018, the Redskins and the rest of the league better not take the 49ers lightly in 2019, especially after this draft, and if they can keep their key players healthy, especially Jimmy G. They were almost as hurt as us, and yet they were statistically able to keep up with the league to be right around the middle of the pack in both offense and defensive statistics. We must be ready to take them seriously next year. Don't look at the record, Redskins, please. And now for our away games other than the NFC East. We play the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and the Carolina Panthers. Starting with the Miami Dolphins, who finished 2018 second in the AFC East. The Dolphins finished ranked 29th in defense and 31st in offense. It's amazing that they won 7 games while being ranked in the bottom 3 in both offense and defense. That's just crazy. The most they ever won games by this entire season was 8 points. But they were steady losing games by 19, 24, 25, and 31. Weird team to understand. They will probably be drafting a quarterback with their 13th overall pick in the 2019 draft. They may be moving on from Ryan Tannehill in this offseason. We'll see though. You never know. They may also be doing an overhaul of the entire organization. They are another interesting team to keep tabs on up until we face them in 2019. The Buffalo Bills are another underperforming team with a young and promising quarterback, even though promising may be too big of a compliment for Josh Allen. Through 10 starts, Josh Allen has a 52.8 completion percentage with 7 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. And just look at this. The guy that Buffalo ran out of town, Tyrod Taylor, 25.8% of his value came from his legs. They got him out of there because they felt he didn't use his arm well enough. And then the typical NFL quarterback gets 9.7% of their value from their legs. While Josh Allen, who is supposed to have this great arm, has generated 69.4% of his value from his legs. I'm getting these stats from Bomani Jones, just to shout him out. And to make it even worse, Tim Tebow from 2011 only got 41% of his value from his legs. 57.6% of Josh Allen's expected points came from scrambles, which is 20% higher than Colin Kaepernick in 2016. It's crazy. The Bills finished 3rd in the AFC East with a 6-10 record. They finished 2018 with the second best defense and the 30th ranked offense, which is just crazy. The Bills need to draft receivers, maybe a running back, but this draft is a very defensive front seven and corner heavy draft. There is no generational wide receiver or running back talent, but we will have to see how their offense progresses over the offseason. The defense is great. They just need their offense to help them out just a little bit. The Green Bay Packers are a very interesting team to watch because people are speculating that Aaron Rodgers is looking less spectacular now. Mike McCarthy got fired, which we would have never seen coming like 6 years ago. And even though Green Bay has two really good young corners, their defense is still struggling. It's chaos over there. And I'm interested in seeing who they hire as coaches and if their offseason moves will make them competitive again. The Packers finished third in the NFC North with a 6-9-1 record. The offense finished ranked 12th, and their defense finished ranked 18th in 2018. They have Aaron Rodgers, so they always have a chance to be competitive, but being in the same division as the Bears doesn't look fun for them right now. But compared to us, Aaron Rodgers versus whoever we throw out there at quarterback will definitely give them an advantage in the QB department, and that's the most important position in football. We cannot take them lightly. Even though we did do a great job of suppressing Aaron Rodgers while the Redskins were healthy when we played them in 2018. That was a very good win for us. The Minnesota Vikings gave Kirk Cousins the whole bag, just for him to fold on the most important game of the year as expected. It's just crazy when you try to warn people. The Kirk curse is real. They thought they were just a Kirk Cousins away from a Super Bowl and they didn't even make the playoffs. But the Vikings finished the 2018 season second in the NFC North with an 8-7-1 record. The defense finished 4th in the NFL and their offense finished 20th. The defense looked like it was taking a step back from 2017, but then they got back into their groove. And the offense was high-powered until they needed it to be high-powered in the season finale. They are still a very good team and will be another great test for the Redskins in the 2019 season. Plus, that will be Kirk Cousins' first game against the team that drafted him. There will be a lot of media attention shined onto that game. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the Redskins can get their organization and team together by then so that we don't embarrass ourselves. And lastly, my boy Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers play against the Redskins again, as usual. Just like the Packers, we play them, it seems like, almost every year. The Panthers started off so hot, and then they just couldn't buy a win. I'm not exactly sure what happened. It is so weird. I haven't found time to deeply watch their film yet to find out why, but their story is crazy. The Panthers and the Colts had exact opposite stories for the season, and I'm expecting the Panthers to play very motivated in 2019 due to this fact. Despite being 6-2 at one point in the season, the Panthers finished the season 7-9, only won 1 out of their last 8 games. Their defense finished ranked 15th and their offense finished ranked 10th. I'm expecting the Panthers to be a very competitive team in 2019, especially after they bring in some free agents and draft picks. They are definitely better than 7-9, and we will have to play them like it in 2019. And that wraps up our list of our 2019 opponents. Sadly for the Redskins, no team has a worse quarterback situation than us, except for probably the Miami Dolphins. Because the teams that have bad quarterbacks, they know they're going to definitely need a quarterback in 2019 and will more than likely draft one or bring one in free agency. The Redskins don't know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know if Alex Smith will be healthy. We don't know if Josh Johnson or Colt McCoy will actually be good enough. And then the 2019 draft quarterback crop is pretty dark. And the Redskins at the 15th pick would definitely have to trade up to get a quarterback worth any while. It's crazy. Our quarterback situation has to be rectified in order for us to be competitive in 2019 with this schedule full of stout teams with great or emerging quarterbacks, tough defenses, high-flying offenses, and difference makers on both sides of the ball. This schedule looks tough, and there will not be much room for error and inconsistencies if we're going to get this 4th ring in Miami in 2020. Would have been nice to get a ring in 2019 in my city, Atlanta, but we gonna get them next year. Let's go Skins. And that's it for this episode, this off-season edition of Redskins Report. Thanks for the view. I'm excited to see what our team and organization will look like by the time the regular season starts. I just gave y'all who we play next season, but we won't know when we play each opponent until sometime in April. That's when we'll know the order of when we play these opponents and what days and times. And make sure y'all get in them comments and tell me how many wins and losses do you predict for the Redskins in 2019? Is this a path to the playoff schedule? Do you feel it's too easy or do you feel it's too tough? But make sure y'all Dolomite Fake punch that like button, favorite, subscribe. I'll subscribe back. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to keep bringing y'all Redskins content throughout the entire offseason and regular season, year round. But most importantly, please comment and share. And again, thank y'all for the support. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. I'm bringing y'all a mock draft really soon. I'm going to be bringing y'all a Tressway appreciation video pretty soon. I'm going to be bringing y'all the final stats and rankings for the Redskins 2018 season, so you can see how we stack up against the rest of the league in different random categories and just stuff like that. I have so much content ready for y'all. Just stay tuned. I'm going to keep bringing it. Catch y'all later. I'm out.